Hi, this is Dominic Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know, and you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Well, hello, and welcome to your Monday evening Trek Fix here on the NX 7062 podcast. I am so glad to see everybody here. I know you're not really here to see me, but that's okay. My guest is going to be coming out in a minute. Just wanted to talk real quick. I literally just watched Lower Decks a couple hours ago. Yeah, I had dinner in Lower Decks. I loved it as usual. It was adorable and funny, and I was watching it and I'm thinking, I know that there are references to like every other cave episode that Star Trek has ever done. And thank you, Stephanie. You're a great liar, and that's why I love you, and happy birthday. And I'm going, I know I should know better, like what cave episodes they're referring to, but it was just so funny to watch. I really absolutely enjoyed it. And of course, when I saw them all get stuck up against the wall, of course, I thought of that wonderful Enterprise episode, even though they probably weren't referencing it. I still thought of the Enterprise reference. Oh, Voxala, I think, is that one. That was actually directed by B'Elanna Torres herself, Roxanne. I always want to say Dawson, and I think that's wrong. Anyway, so hi, Dave. Look, you didn't miss anything. She's the gravy. You absolutely didn't miss anything. All right, Nancy, hurry up and switch to your laptop. Maybe keep the phone on while you get ready to switch. And you know what? Leave the phone on. If you have two IDs, log in under two different IDs. I get two views. That would be awesome. So everybody, that's my Lower Deck spiel. I was actually driving home yesterday from State College, Pennsylvania. I was there for the weekend for a Halloween party with a friend of mine. So I did not watch the Roddenberry recap on Shuttlepod Show. I know it was awesome. I'm sure because it was the Shuttlepod Show, but I have no notes except yay Shuttlepod Show and yay Rod Roddenberry, who happened to be a past guest here. But my trip through central Pennsylvania, Jober! Hi! So good to see you. But the fact that I was driving through central Pennsylvania actually leads me to the perfect introduction for my guest, because believe it or not, his family happens to be from that same area. I drive past his old stomping grounds every time I head up 322 to State College, Pennsylvania. So without further ado, the one, the only, JG Hertzler. Hello, sir.
Now, do I have to push anything here? Because I might as well be a pack lid in terms of.
You have to push nothing. You are here.
Oh, excellent. Good. That's the way I like it.
You are here. I like to make it very easy for my guests to show up. Robert is we all remember Robert and what a big fan he is of yours. So he says it's great to have you on the show again.
This is Robert Plant.
Yes, this is Robert Plant with an E.
Okay. And hey, Bob.
And
hey, Bob.
And Dave Gregory says hey, and Stephanie, who you know from Trek Long Island, is here, and another relatively new to my show is Jober Velasco. So and Annika is here. We've got a crew here, all here to hear about.
Hello, Stephania.
And they're all here to hear about the history of central Pennsylvania. I know that's why they all came.
Yeah, let me see. I was one of the first show I did in when I went to New York for the first time was a show called The Passionate Men. And I, of course, when I was going to be auditioning for it, I, of course, thought it was some sort of porn show. And I said, yeah, that's what I'd like to start out my career doing. A live porn show. Showcase theater, not getting paid for it. Sounds perfect. Sign me up. But it wasn't. It was The Passionate Men, where it was about basically Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr. I was going to say Raymond Burr and Aaron Burr, and the other people that were sitting around there signing the Declaration of Independence and whatnot. And I played, I'm pretty sure I played Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have the sunglasses then. But Ben Franklin did. He gave me the idea, so I used his sunglasses. But I had a roommate named Chris Ellis, a dressing roommate, Chris Ellis. Now, you would know Chris Ellis if you saw him, because he was in October Skies. He was in Apocalypse. What's the Apocalypse? He had the word apocalypse is in it.
But it's not Apocalypse Now. It's not that one.
No, not the Vietnam thing. It was about it was Armageddon.
Oh, okay.
About the trip to get that asteroid moved.
Yep.
But Chris Ellis was my room. Every day he would come in and he'd have a new ancient vintage suit. This is in 1978, somewhere in there. Yeah, 78. And he'd come in, and these suits were from the 40s and 50s and sometimes 30s. These suits were beautiful. And he'd take off his suit and he'd roll it into a ball and he'd put it there on the floor. And I said, first of all, it bothered me that he would treat those. Anyway, I said, Chris, where do you get these suits? It's a different one every day. And he said, well, John, he was from, I think he's from Tennessee or Kentucky. He said, John, Jesus Christ died for us all, but Uncle Boris died only for me. And he had all of Uncle Boris's suits. I said, okay, very good. But you would know, if you saw this guy, you've seen him in a zillion movies.
Oh, I'm sure.
He had a great career after The Passionate Men.
Is that something that you left Central Pennsylvania to go do? Is that what led into this?
Oh, that story. Up until about a week before, my folks had an antique shop back then, and in Central PA in Port Royal. No, take it back. The antique shop was in Southern Maryland, but they were from the whole family. Both sides of my family's from Juniata County, right in the middle of Pennsylvania. It's the northern expanse of Appalachia, basically. It's very poor farming, very rural county, part of Central PA.
Beautiful in the fall.
It's stunningly beautiful all the way around. I mean, it's a summer wonderland as well. The rivers you can walk across, and it's beautiful. Anyway, I asked the director continually. I said, "Do you need any antiques for your set? Because I could supply them." And he said, "No. Our designers are handling all that. It's taken care of. But thank you for offering." And 2 days, or it seemed like 2 days before we were to open, the director came to me and said, "John, do you remember? I remember you saying something about access to antiques." Yeah, but the set designer, he said, "No, they didn't do anything. We have nothing." So it's theater. It is pure theater. So I said, "Well, yeah." So we rented a box truck, drove to Pennsylvania from the west side of New York.
Oh my gosh.
Drove to Pennsylvania, picked up lots of colonial era spindleback chairs, which we had, and a bunch of lanterns, period lanterns, and a table, a bureau,
oh wow,
wardrobe, lots of things. Got it loaded in, worked like gangbusters. the show was like sort of a piece of garbage, but it was well intended.
But the set looked good.
The set was fine. But I said, okay, now can we rent that truck and get it back? And the guy said, the director said, oh, I can't help you with that.
Oh my God.
So I moved all those things. Right before this show, I had gotten my apartment on the 5th floor walk up on 50th Street between 9th and 10th, and 911 50th Street, top floor. And we moved everything into my little railroad apartment. It was like, this is how small it was. The kitchen had a long counter at one point that you lifted up the counter, and the bathtub was underneath. Yeah. It was small.
At least you had the tub in your room and didn't have to go down the hall.
Yes, exactly. The blessings. So anyway, then I got cast back in Washington at the Folger Theater doing a lot of Shakespeare, and a year later I sublet my place to this guy, and I came back I said I'm coming back. He never answered me. I'm coming back. Never answered. I show up.
He cleaned you out.
Huh?
Did he clean you out?
No, he sublet it to somebody else. And they didn't know who I was. I couldn't get in. So I got a New York cop down on the sidewalk. I said, look, here's what. So we go up there. He said, okay, where's your lease? I said, I don't have a lease. I was a subletter. He said, well, I can't get you in then. What?
Oh, no.
So I have all my stuff in this apartment that I can't get into. So I go downstairs and just steam. I just want to hit somebody. And finally, the guy who I sublet to walks by. I said, what are you doing? I ought to hit you. I'm going to hit you. And I don't think I punched him. I can't remember. But he said, I'll help you get this stuff out of there. I said, fine. So we went up, and everything had been moved out of the apartment onto a landing that's about the size of this. You can't see how small this little room is, but everything was moved out except the things I don't know if everything was moved out or not. I had no inventory, you know. And so that was the story of my first show in
New York,
New York City.
Okay, I have a message for you from Stephanie. You have to come back and get your targ. It's destroying the hotel.
Come back to Long Island to pick up your targ. I wondered what happened to him. Maxie, where? Maxie. I love that targ. He was really bad breath, but a beautiful, beautiful animal.
Well, they've got him. So when you come back in 2024, you just got to remember to take him with you.
Thank you. Whatever you do, don't let him scratch you or bite you in any way, because it's fatal.
Just keep feeding him gach, and he should be all right.
Oh, God, no. Don't give. Oh, please, no.
No.
Gach is made out of targ. No, please don't do that to him. That would be terrible.
Oh, she said, oops.
Oops. Too late.
Too late. Well, we are going. You and I are both heading back up to Hauppauge, Long Island for the second
That's a
round.
good name. You know, I think most targs are from Hauppauge. It's where it's the dialect there. You know?
It took me a while to figure out how to pronounce Hauppauge.
It's Hauppauge. It's Hauppauge, is it not? Hauppauge.
I also want to let you know, JG, Central Pennsylvania is being repped in the room because a friend of mine from State College just popped in and said hello. So we've got Central PA in the house tonight.
You know, terrible thing about State College, Penn State lost to Ohio State, right? Or didn't they?
Our first loss of the season. Yep.
Yeah.
We had a very poor offensive showing.
Oh, that's too bad, man. What happened?
I don't know. The one time we really needed them to step up completely, and they all
The Nittany Lions,
the
baby.
Nittany Lions. But speaking of football,
Yeah. Joe
I think-
Paterno. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. God, a football god.
The house that Joe built. I specifically, the day that I left, I specifically took the long way round to where I was going so I could drive right past the stadium.
The house that Joe built
The
is
house
what
that
it's
Joe
called?
built. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
The house that Joe built. Speaking of football.
Joe the father.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of football, I believe you have a little bit of familiarity with football. You personally.
Is that a sexual question?
That's supposed to be a segue to Confessions of a Klingon Linebacker.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's a book.
It's a book.
It's my book. You see the presentation back there? You can't see it anyway.
It's actually covering up Robert O'Reilly's face in case anybody's wondering.
Covering up Bob's face. Yeah.
There we go.
That's the front and that's the back. And that's my daughter, Hannah.
I met Hannah.
Yes,
now
you
did. At the DS9 documentary. She came
with
him.
That's right.
I forgot. I literally just remember it. She's not that little anymore.
No, not that little. She's pretty. She's taller. She's as tall as I am now, I think.
She's in Ithaca, right?
No, she's in Poughkeepsie. She was working in Binghamton, but she went to Vassar, and then she got offered a job back at Vassar, so she moved back to Vassar. She's working there, but in Poughkeepsie, which is I guess it's a Native American first people's name.
Poughkeepsie's one of those towns I just like to say.
Poughkeepsie, yeah. I mean, people made fun of it on the radio for many, many years. Getting a train to Poughkeepsie.
His daughter, Annika, his daughter, she is not in What We Left Behind, but JG and I went to the New York screening of What We Left Behind, and Hannah came down with him. So that's how I met her.
Yeah, we came to see it, and we
had fun. That was a fun night.
I think Bob and I are briefly in it, aren't we? In that?
Yeah, you are. You're absolutely in it. We had more fun though, sitting there heckling Ethan Phillips when he was doing his stand-up.
Oh, I know. He was dying on stage, and he said, "Get off the stage!"
The New York premiere of What We Left Behind had a bit of a video hiccup. They couldn't get it to play, so Ethan was a couple rows behind us, and what was it, Ira? I think Ira actually was like, "Can you get up and do a little stand-up?"
Yeah, because he does stand-up. And Ethan Phillips, I mean, people already know. I'm sure they already know it, but he's a member of a club that they get together once a month, and I think they've been going for like decades. And they tell jokes to each other, and they try to stump each other with the punchline. He knows every joke ever written, and he can remember them. I can't remember what I just said 2 minutes ago, but
and at least half of them are blue. So he's.
Oh yeah. I think that's what he was trying to. He was trying
to temper it.
He'd start a joke and realize I can't say that here. I can't, and so then he'd had to go for something else. Anyway, he was dying, and we were there to help you. We're helping you. Get off the stage.
It was a great night. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hannah's lovely, and she was. Can we say the inspiration for why you decided to do this autobiography?
Well, Hannah was born when I was 49, going on 50, real days away, I think. She was born June 27th, 1999. So I was 49 for 4 months at that point, born in March. So I was 49 and a half. And I wanted to write a letter to Hannah explaining, defending what my life had been since 1950 when I was born to that point in 1999. And so during the pandemic, I mean, what was there to do except write?
A lot of creative things came out of the pandemic.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And so I got this written, and then it took me forever to get it edited, and with some consternation, I had an editor do it here, a woman that was at Cornell, got her name through Cornell. Excuse me, got her name through Cornell, but she had moved to Colorado. So my editor was 2,000 miles away, and it made it a little difficult. So it took a lot longer than it should have. But I was very happy with it because it does. I wrote it as a long letter, love letter to my daughter, because I wish my dad had done that for me, because although I have a lot of my mother and father were from the same small town in central Pennsylvania, Port Royal, where we just talked about, and it's a very rural community. Their families were there for 6 generations. So I'm related to everybody in 18 counties, by the way, there in Central PA. They don't call it Happy Valley for nothing. Anyway, so I wrote this. I wrote the book and dedicated it to my daughter. And the first thing is as a letter to her. But there is I did write. I wanted to share a little piece. I hope it's not too long. I want it to be short, but.
Well, I don't think anybody would mind listening to you read for a little bit.
Well, if they do, they'll just have to go.
Real quick before you start, though, Robert said he went to the one night showing of the documentary dressed as Chancellor Martok. That showed in his area.
Where was that?
On a documentary dressed as. Yeah, where was that? Robert, we don't. Oops, sorry. I apologize. I'm terrible. My memory's terrible. So refresh my memory where you live, Robert. I know it's down south somewhere. So yeah, let us know where you live.
I love it.
It's great. Well done, Robert. All right.
Yeah, it's General Martok. Now my issue is
Salisbury, North Carolina.
Salisbury, North Carolina. Huh. I don't think is it on 95?
That's a really good. Yeah, that's a really good question.
Anyway, let me do my best at finding a light here. Wasn't prepared for this.
Is there an audio version of this book, or will there be an audio version?
There will be. I'm negotiating with people right now in terms of studio time, and I should have done this long ago, but I that's the way my entire life has been. I have never done anything. I always am about from 6 months to 17 years late with everything that I do. It's a rule. It's not the 7th rule, but it's the 30th rule.
There you go. Okay, so let's see what we got. Robert says no, he lives in the central part of the state. And Patricia Barrett, welcome. I hope I said your name right. And she says hello, JG.
Yeah, hello, Patricia. And Melissa at Melissa H. and Roy Long at Patricia Barrett. Howdy, all of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not Melissa.
No, it's not. No, I have actually met somebody whose name is spelled like Melissa's.
Yeah,
but hers is pronounced Melissa.
Yeah. I don't know you, Melissa, but if you're anything like Melissa, you're a fabulous human being, and
she is a lovely human being. She's absolutely a lovely human being. So Annika says procrastinators unite at some point.
Yeah, shiny objects show up on the screen a lot. Anyway, I auditioned for Deep Space Nine. And I had a fit at the audition. I threw a chair into the wall and it stuck, and that's a different story. But I apologized. I called my agent when I got back from the audition. I said, look, I sort of blew up at the producers and the writers who were all sitting out there. And I don't think he said, well, my agent, who was a mensch of the first order, he was just, I can't go into it. Anyway, he was a wonderful guy. I say was because he was caught in the AIDS plague back in the
early days.
Early 80s, yeah.
War Dog says, howdy to JG from that guy that you met at the Finger Lakes Con.
Say howdy to JG from the guy you met at Finger Lakes Con.
That's who War Dog is.
War Dog. Up at was it up at the casino? Not the casino, but the hotel up there. Is that right? That one, or was it at the? I don't know. But hello, War Dog. It reminds me. There was a great band called the War Band that was sort of run by Goldie, and the other guy's name just left my brain. Anyway, it was a great Klingon band. Anyway, so I apologized, and he says this too shall pass, and it did. The next day, I'd already called my agent to apologize. Okay, don't worry about it, he said. It's just science fiction anyway. Star Trek, for heaven's sake. Forget about it. I felt better. Yeah, it was just science fiction. The redheaded stepchild of primetime television dramas. Unlike Hill Street Blues or St. Elsewhere, Magnum P.I., and all the others that spoke to the daily lives of Americans. Dodging the cops after pulling off a major bank heist, ending up in the hospital treated by a young happening resident, more interested in doing the hot new nurse than treating your torn spleen. And finally, signing up for a helicopter ride through the mountains of Hawaii in search of international jewel thieves. In other words, real drama. And my Paramount audition was only science fiction. Who cares? Anyway, that's probably my best description of Hollywood that I've ever written.
And how wrong they were. I mean, you don't see Magnum P.I. having conventions.
No, it's the strangest thing. There's nothing like Star Trek. Even Star Wars doesn't have conventions the size and the length and the longevity of Star Trek.
No, definitely not in the same way. War Dog says, yep, the one at the hotel. Sergeant Bill, you were hanging out with Tim and John Tuffarella.
Was that? Oh, Lord, Tim.
He's always hanging out with somebody.
Yeah, bless me, Tim. Tim's gone now. And
Tim McCormick, yes.
Tim McCormick, yeah. And we miss him. We miss Aaron. We miss Renee.
Tim was a sweetheart. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He did one of my earlier shows.
Very special. Yeah.
He was a sweet, and it was so sudden. But
so sudden, and but if you got to go, it's sort of a peaceful way to go. Asleep.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, his wonderful daughters. Hello, if you ever see this, wonderful daughters.
Oh yes. Oh, those were 90% of his posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
He had some beautiful daughters. Melissa says Martok was amazing and her favorite Klingon.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, just since you mentioned it, who said that? Barbara?
Just now, Melissa.
I'd happened to look up to see who the most popular Klingons were.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not before the show, but a little while back. But in May 14th of 22, the most popular Klingons on Star Trek, according to Ranker, I don't know what Ranker is, but Ranker.
It sounds good for a Klingon.
Yeah. Krug was number 1.
Krug, that's Search for Spock.
Yeah, it's
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd, yeah. Kang was number 2.
That was 6.
Michael and Sarah.
Oh, Michael and Sarah. Oh,
From
okay.
the original.
Yeah. Okay.
Then some guy, Galron, number 3.
Never heard of him.
No, it's just small parts.
Mm.
And then Kern, the fabulous Tony Todd, ladies and gentlemen.
Love Tony.
Absolutely.
Tony's amazing. Such a soul.
And then there was Kor, one of the great actors of all time, John Colicos, the original Klingon. He was on screen first before anybody else. Canadian actor, so we can just dismiss him. And there goes your Canadian audience. I'm sorry, Stephanie.
I think there might be a Canadian out there. Yeah, I hope Nikki DeBoer doesn't see this, but okay.
I love Nikki DeBoer. Yeah,
me too.
And then finally Martok, and after Martok, it's Worf. And I said, this can't be right, So then Bob said, well, no, there's a later thing where I'm number 2. I think Worf is 1, I'm 2, and then Bob is 3 or 4, and that was the one that was obviously the correct rating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Puka Hare says Kor is her favorite. No accounting for taste.
Now, Kor, let me tell you about Kor. Let me see. Can I tell this story? Yeah, it's not really about the show.
Okay.
The last show, his last appearance on the show, which shall remain nameless, it was something about shallow room 8, shallow large room 8. I can't remember the name of the show. Deep something. His last show, I wanted to give him a gift, so I'd gone out shopping because it's sort of a tradition, my tradition maybe, to give a book with some meaning about whatever the experience has been for us. And I found a book in a used bookstore. It was a Broadway. It was called Broadway 1952, I think. And it was a review. It was a listing of all the shows that were on Broadway that season and reviews that would spoke to the shows by the various New York Times reviewers, I think. And they Kor was listed right there. John Colicos had played Petruchio in Taming of the Shrew on Broadway in 1952. And can you guess who his leading lady was, who Kate was?
Don't even want to try.
In Taming of the Shrew, 1952. Taming of the Shrew in 52.
And the leading lady was?
Well, you can't guess? Her name was in the show, she played the role of Kate.
Was it
Yes.
Kate Mulgrew?
No.
Kate Hepburn?
Kate Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn was Kor's leading lady. So the man had worked with a few of the greats.
Absolutely.
In the American film history of the American film. Anyway, one of the extraordinary things about Star Trek is that I think they probably used more actors trained and steeped in Shakespeare than any other show on TV.
Well, that fits right in with Roy's question. How did Christopher Plummer not make that top 10 list?
Oh, he's my top 10 with his bolted on eye patch. I mean, yes, Christopher Plummer is by far.
And you haven't heard Shakespeare until you've heard it in the original Klingon.
Yes.
That was a great line. That, and when he's sitting in the captain's chair, let loose the dogs of war. So great. And I actually enjoyed Kim Cattrall's performance in that too. I know some people give her a lot of flack, but I thought Kim Cattrall was great.
Yeah,
as the Vulcan.
Let loose the dogs of war,
or unleash the dogs of war. Puka's saying it's unleashed.
Verb. Yeah, something might be right or wrong about
that.
It
was at the end. It was at the end when they was trying to destroy.
Oh no, I know the line very.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's there's so many. One of the things about the original Shakespeare, I mean, when Shakespeare picked up the original Klingon, he screwed up a lot of the lines. In Shakespeare, the very simple opening to a Hamlet speech is "To be or not to be, that is the question." But the original Klingon in the original production, it was "To stab or not to stab, that is not even a question." And so, but they screwed it up with "to be or not to be." That's went mamsy-pamsy.
Thank you, Roy. Roy got the quote. Cry havoc and let slip.
Cry havoc and let slip. Yeah, that's the word. Not release.
I couldn't. Thank you, Roy. Thank you. I haven't watched 6 in a while, so.
Cry havoc. Oh, it's wonderful.
Christopher Plummer was perfect for that role.
The dogs of war.
They've cast Klingons throughout the franchise, I don't think they've taken a misstep. I really think that the Klingons that the actors they've cast have really done justice to those roles.
Well, they've cast a lot of Shakespearean people in the roles. I know I before going to LA, I had done almost exclusively Shakespeare outdoors, indoors, behind doors.
Okay. Jober keeps saying this, so I have to give Jober, he loves Lursa and B'Etor. They are in his top 10.
Oh, yes, of course. The ladies never get their due.
No. But this leads me to a question. I feel like, as you're saying this, Shakespeare calls for, as you're on the stage, obviously, but Shakespeare, I think, calls for very big acting to really, like just being brash and out there. And I feel like that fits in with like a Klingon and all that makeup and everything else and the attitude of the Klingon. Do you think it kind of fits in? Is there like some sort of natural fit between a Shakespearean actor and being a Klingon?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think you've nailed it. I mean, you have to be capable of being big. You can't be big all the time, but you have, when you, Chang, Christopher Plummer, mm-hmm. Sir Christopher Plummer, and Sir Patrick Stewart. Just think about that. Think about that. We had 2 Knights of the Realm on our TV show. Who else can say that? Except maybe the Saint, wasn't he? I don't know. But to me, doing Shakespeare is you have to be able to speak in blank verse and rhymed couplets and Alexandrines and Greek figures of speech. There are like 40 of them. And you have to be able to recognize them when you see them and make sure that the audience feels it, even if they don't hear it completely or don't understand it, but they feel it. Mm-hmm. In fact, Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick, whose book just came out. By the way, did I mention my book? It's Confessions of a Klingon Linebacker.
And it is available on Amazon. And you know what? That's
Amazon under that title, Confessions of a Klingon Linebacker.
You know what? Let's do it this way.
I call it that because 2 parts of my life that changed my life were 1, playing college football, and 2, getting cast on Star Trek. So that this book basically builds it's about the build up from birth to becoming a linebacker and then expanding that to becoming a Klingon.
For those of you that see the QR code that's above my head, if you scan that QR code, it will take you to the Amazon store link and you can purchase JG's book.
It's covered up by the word live.
Yeah, but that's only for us. Everybody, that's only for you and me. That's, the behind the scenes stuff. Everybody else,
okay. So they can see the QR code.
Yep. Okay, so Stephanie, really quick, wants me to mention, and I know you know this, but the Klingon shop from Australia will be actually in attendance this year at her convention.
His name has just slipped my brain. He's a wonderful guy. He basically made two, I think maybe one, Klingon. He makes batliths out of heavy Klingon metal. I mean, this metal is it's frightening. It is. I kept it in my house for a long, long time as my main intruder deposer.
And for those of you that don't know, Trek Long Island is always raising money for charities. Last year, it was for the Lavelle School for the Blind, and all $1,050 from that auctioned off batleth went right to the school.
Right.
So we wanted to let everybody know that when you go to Trek Long Island, or you support Trek Long Island, you're also supporting this year. It's Pop Culture Hero Coalition. So she's always Pop Culture Hero. This year they're supporting Pop Culture Hero Coalition, the anti-bullying charity.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the first 501c3 anti-bullying.
Well, that reminds me of my audition for a Klingon, and I said I'm not going to be what a basic Klingon, what other people have done. I'm going to be quiet, conspiratorial, and bring it from underneath. And I got finished, and there was a voice from the back. It might have been Robert Hewitt Wolf, or it could have been Ira, but they said, "Oh, thank you, John. Do you know what a Klingon is?" After my audition, I said, "Oh, right. You want me to be annoyingly angry, vitriolic, just mean and aggressive, and not just maybe a bully would be the right word." And they said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." And that's when I threw the chair that stuck in the wall, and I just also ripped part of my thumbnail off, and it bled on the because I was
suffering for your art.
I was acting like blazes. I was on fire. And the blood was on the ceiling and on the wall and dripping onto the carpet.
Okay, so let's see. Puka here wants to know. I have not, but JG, have you ever seen Shakespearean done by Kurosawa?
Oh, you mean Throne of Blood? Or Chimes of Midnight. Throne of Blood, I think, is the name of the Kurosawa film. Yes, I've seen it. He's brilliant.
I'm pretty sure that the answer to this is yes, but you are the one doing the audiobook, which is what you're negotiating right now for studio
That's
space.
The whole point. I mean,
that's what I thought. Yep.
Because it is my story about my life from 1950 to 1999, and which includes all of Star Trek. That I was not all of it, because I did a little bit of Enterprise of Voyager.
What's Enterprise?
Enterprise? Oh, it's the name of a Star Trek that starred, I believe, Connor Kinnear and Dominic Keating.
Yeah, the guy's right. Well, Connor's not in this, but my bridge picture right behind me, Scott.
Oh yeah, I saw him back there. Yeah,
they're Dominic and Anthony, and then Scott and.
Yes, there he is. Hello, Anthony. Wait, raise your hand.
He's busy steering the ship.
A stiff actor, Anthony. Yeah.
Anthony's great. I love Anthony. He's so
truly great guy. Yeah,
he is. I'm hoping. You know what's really funny is you're both authors. You've done your autobiography. He has a memoir coming out. So I'm hoping.
Coming out? Do you know?
I don't. I'm not sure he does. He talked about it on Trek Talks, which is John Billingsley's fundraiser for the Hollywood Food Coalition.
And step by step, Billingsley.
But yeah, so I talked to Anthony. So hopefully, when it has a release date, I'll have him on. Jober wants to know: do you still follow college football, and what do you think of the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime?
Coach Prime, Sanders, right? I can't think of his first name now. What's Coach Prime's actual name? He was one of the greatest outside, not linebackers, but quarterbacks in the history of the game. What's his first name? Jeez, I can't remember it. Anyway, he sort of looks like he's bought into the Ted Lasso mantra of believe, bam. Well, you can believe to a degree, but sooner or later, the size of your opponent and the number of those large people are going to cause you a problem in your belief. And so he's an inspiring coach, but I wish he had a slightly bigger team. That Colorado has not had that, they've never been traditionally they've not been able to really win much of anything, I guess. But he certainly has put them on the map.
Which is also very Ted Lasso.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so Uncle Hairball says it's impossible for me to imagine anyone else's Martok because no one could play him the way JG does.
Well, thank you, Uncle Hairball.
War Dog's inviting you out to Montana so you can sign his copy of the book. We've moved a couple copies. I saw people clicking on the QR code. So
I'm gonna be in Denver when is it? I should have the thing in front of me, but I'm in Denver coming up. There's a Comic-Con in Denver. Let me see. It's not the first weekend in November. Bob and I are both going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. November 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in there.
Aww.
And then the next weekend, I think, is the weekend of the
one in Connecticut.
Yeah.
One day in Connecticut, yeah.
And then I skip a week, and then at Thanksgiving, I'm going to Denver for, I guess it's a Denver Comic-Con. No, it's not. That's not the right name.
A little Rocky Mountain High?
No. Well, but I'm looking forward to Denver because I have relatives all around Denver there. My sister moved her family out there a long time ago, and my nephew, who has done a couple of conventions with me, Richie, my little Richie. Well, he's in his 40s now. Time flies. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Denver, and then after that, I keep forgetting there's something in early December, but it's hard for me to even remember what's happening next week. But I know I've got to go to Grand Rapids soon.
I want to shout out to first-time viewers, the Cosmic Portals Salvage Yard. Thank you for stopping by. So glad you're enjoying yourself. Glad you came to hang out with JG.
Cosmic Portals, what was
Salvage Yard.
Salvage Yard. I love that.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I'd like to be on that show. I consider myself sort of the reconstituted junk that, well, I'm sort of getting back to it at this point. But where did I put?
While you're looking, Robert wants to know if the hole in the wall is still there from your audition.
Well, I haven't been back. But I've many times I've wanted to say, why didn't I take that chair and spray it with gold plate and then insert it into the wall again and add a plaque. Martok was here.
Here.
Briefly.
Puka said that they also, what is it? Kurosawa also did Ran is Lear. Throne of Blood.
Oh, Ron. Yeah, I never saw Ron, but Throne of Blood. And that's the one. Chimes at Midnight was it? I guess that was not Kurosawa, but it was a production of the Scottish play.
Okay.
Ron. Yes, I have seen Ron. I don't know how you pronounce it, Ran or Ron, but yeah, I don't know if I think you see it in. They're speaking Japanese, but there are subtitles, of course. It's hard to watch Shakespeare with subtitles.
Right. Puka
Lear is the one. A friend of mine has wanting me to do Lear forever and ever, but I never got around to it. And it's one of the massive plays that by Shakespeare that I don't know. Generally, I know about it, but I never studied it.
Puka feels that Kurosawa could have done Shakespeare in the original Klingon. Kurosawa.
I think it did. Doesn't Klingon and Japanese, are they the same thing?
Yes, Tiffany. I'm behind on my chatting, but yes, Tiffany, those guys that we were talking about, Connor and Dominic, they have a show or something. Yeah, I'd heard that rumor. Let's see. I just want to make sure that I catch up on everything because all these amazing people are talking to you. All right, I think we're all caught up. Or not. Robert's going to Starbase Indy, which is the other big Thanksgiving. Roy's got it. Is it Galacticon?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Roy. Roy, you need to stop by more often. You are just the great side guy. Shout out to Magic Lasso. I did see you say hi to me and JG. Magic Lasso's a good friend of mine. I always joke. He knows nothing about Star Trek, but he's here always supporting me. So I always appreciate that.
That is a true friend, yeah.
Isn't that a true friend?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. He likes Wonder Woman. He's a big Wonder Woman fan. So
I take it back.
Wonder
Woman.
The original,
and
the comics and all that wonderful stuff.
I mean, look at that outfit and a lasso, a magic lasso. I'm sorry.
Lasso, don't leave. Lasso, I love you. Don't leave. Well, yes, but you know what? Charles Mouton based that magic lasso on the lie detector. There's a whole history of how Wonder Woman came to be that is incredibly interesting.
You know, it sort of hurts me to say this in more ways than one, but I never had a stack of comics. I was not a comic book reader. The only comic that I can remember, which describes me perfectly, it's sort of Mr. Boring, but was a Classics Illustrated of Ivanhoe.
Okay.
And I had a couple of friends that I'd go over to their house and they'd show me their huge stacks of comics that they had. Boy, I wish I had them now, though, you know?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I am being told that you've been on the Cosmic Portals salvage yard. It's Calabas is here.
I've been on it? I haven't been on it.
That's what he's saying.
Calabas, I've been on it?
But you also did say you just don't remember what you had for breakfast this morning. So
well, that's true too. But whose is it again? Who's
the Cosmic Portals salvage yard?
But it's not Calabas that runs that, is it?
Well, he says, JG, you've been on our show. It's me, Calabas.
It is. So. Oh, okay. Well, was I fully conscious?
If it was Margarita Monday, I don't know.
I love Margarita Mondays.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Puka thinks you would have made a great King Lear.
Yeah, I would have if I were 25 years old, but at 73, I can't, as I said, I can't remember what I said 2 minutes ago, let alone memorize a new part on Shakespeare. I mean, I've been the parts that I memorized when I was in my 40s and 30s and whatnot, I still know. Well, nobles, well, it is politically done to send me packing with a host of men. I take it kindly. yet be well assured you put sharp weapons in a madman's hands. Whilst I, in Ireland, nourish a mighty band, I will stir up in England some great storm shall blow 10,000 souls to heaven or hell, and that fell tempest shall not cease to rage until the golden circuit upon my head, like to the glorious sun's transparent beams, do calm the fury of this mad bred flaw. You know, and I could go on. Those are words that I learned when I was 30. I can remember, had it pleased heaven to try me with affliction, had they rained all kinds of sores and shames on my bare head, given in captivity me and my utmost hopes, a drop of patience, but alas, to make me a fixed figure, for the time of scorn to point his slow, unmoving finger at. Anyway, that's Othello. And I, in graduate school, got it to play Othello, and I wasn't going to turn it down for any reason. This is back in the 70s. I can't do that now. Now, that's another thing about, you would think, do you think it's possible? This is a sensitive area. Do you think it would be possible, you know, basically, shoot, what's the story about Alexander Madison? Hamilton. Hamilton is within 1 minute of sitting watching the show, the audience throws away all their ideas, say, well, there were no black, brown people in the Congress, in the Constitutional Convention of the Congress in 1776. And then and then you realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the work going on in front of you is so compelling. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And you accept everything. And that's the way it should be. That's the way colorblind casting should be. I don't believe I could ever do Denzel Washington's part in Fences. I couldn't do it, no matter how good the makeup was, now how good whatever. I couldn't do it. I couldn't play a white. I couldn't be a white playing a black wannabe baseball player.
Right.
In 1934 or 35 or 36, whenever it happens. I couldn't do it, and I've been trying to puzzle through that. It's almost a logical contradiction, but and I mentioned it. One of the reasons I mentioned it, I talk about it in my book. I'm saying there's things like I've played Shylock, and I'm Amish. I'm not Jewish. I've played Othello briefly in graduate school. I've played Spaniards from Cadiz when I'm actually from like Bavaria. So my ancestors. I've done a lot, and some of the things I've done in my career, I wouldn't be allowed to do now. Because it's just wrong for me to play a Spaniard from Cadiz, I think. Anyway, but I'm glad I was around when I was around, because otherwise I wouldn't have made that those bags full of money.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Well, I thought it was about the craft.
A life in the arts? No, it's about the money. Show me the money.
You know what you haven't talked about yet, because it's one of my favorite things that you do. Are you doing anything with, I was getting there. Oh my God, Cosmic read my mind. Samuel Clemens. I love your Samuel Clemens.
Yeah, I'd like to do I've a couple of shows. The thing about politicians is they're a lot like diapers. They need to be changed frequently, and for the same reason. I love Samuel Clemens. He was perhaps the greatest stand-up in the history of Americana, in the history of theater or literature. Not only was he he was, you know, he's such a giant. It's almost unapproachable, and I think Hal is still alive, is still with us. Hal Holbrook. I don't know if he's still doing.
I don't know. I think he's left us.
Has he?
I'm pretty sure. Let me look.
How do you look?
I Google while I'm
okay.
chatting. Yeah. Actually not too long ago. It looks like January 23rd of 2021.
2021, during the pandemic, right in the height of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's written some incredible things. I do a Twain show, a long story about the morning, the pristine beauty of morning on the Mississippi, dawn on the Mississippi, and talks about a black maid that he was in. You know, he was born in Florida. Florida. Where's the Florida's the name of the town. Oh Jesus, where's the state? Not Iowa. What's Missouri? Boy, I can't think. Where Hannibal Moe? Yeah.
Yep.
Missouri.
Okay.
But he was born in Florida, and then his family moved to Hannibal. He was a Southerner. He signed up. He was a Confederate soldier for about 16 days, I think. And then somebody shot at him, and he took off got rid of his horse, took off his uniform, and moved out west. He didn't want to be shot at. Very wise man.
I was going to say that's nothing. Yep.
Yeah. But what a brilliant, anyway, I would like to be able to take the time to do Twain, but I've studied him for a few years, but I haven't committed his brilliance. I'm not living in that skin yet. Maybe someday.
Oh, well, I remember, this is a couple years ago, I remember calling you while you were in the middle of rehearsing for a Twain. You did a one-man show, I believe. And yeah, we spent half the conversation and you talked to me. You didn't break character.
Oh, I didn't?
No.
Yeah, well, that's good. I was better then. Life is a long series of deterioration. And my brain, I wonder if his brain is preserved somewhere, like strawberry jam, Mark Twain preserves.
Oh my God. On sourdough.
On sourdough, yeah.
Is there anything else that we should know about your book besides the fact that people should buy it?
I have a couple of rants about, political rants. I mean, if you've looked at my site, you know that there are two things that interest me. The arts. There are a lot of pictures in here, and I'll show you one that I did Zorro, and
oh, the one where you got to go to Spain. Yep.
Yeah. That's a sketch I did of the director. You can't really tell him, but I looked back and he was standing right there because I was right below the camera. Then I looked up there and I took a picture, my mind's eye, Horatio. I love to draw. I love to paint and draw, and so art of all kinds. I adore. And the other thing is politics.
Linda thinks you are a political genius.
Linda, I think I love you. I think I love you.
Oh, Partridge Family. That's a
yeah. JG is a political genius. No, I'm not. But I'm much too. Twain had the ability to turn around in using humor, not to offend, but always to attack. He succeeded like nobody else ever has, and I don't have that gift of being sanguine. I mean, I sort of think like a linebacker. My job is to stop you from moving. That we are in train. I hope to high heaven that the world will be able to find its way through this current time of absolute insanity and hate everywhere. It's everywhere. It's like I call him the Mr. D. The devil is like stalking Earth in all areas of Earth, and it is frightening and saddening. It's so saddening because the world has so much promise, and yet we have this. So I write a little bit about that, more philosophical moment or moments in my book.
Annika loved your drawing. She thought it was incredible.
Well, thank you. That was that was the director of Zorro. We shot. He's got his hand on a Super 16 millimeter camera because he shot in 16. Most films, most TV shows. Well, they don't even use film anymore. It's all shot on red or on video or a disc. Anyway, they used to shoot on film, and most films were shot on 35 millimeter. For a while, they went up to 70 millimeter. Remember, they used to say shot in 70 millimeter. It's the biggest thing on earth. But we shot on 16 millimeter, Super 16, so a little bigger.
A little bigger than a Super 8.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly right. Which was a great film.
Oh, Super 8?
Super 8, yeah.
I need to watch that. Oh, Linda says she loves you too.
Well, thank you, but I am spoken for, and don't say that too loud. Send it to me privately. Yes.
Wait, there was something else that there was something else I thought I saw. Sugar. There's something else I wanted to. Oh, there it is. I know it was Stephanie. All right. She would like to know, are you doing any library visits or book signings?
Do any book signings? I may. I have a large version of this, but I can't quite figure. I know what I should do, but I seem sort of incapable of actually doing it. Like, all I can think of is I see myself setting up a stand alongside a freeway with that like 6 foot by 4 foot backdrop and a stack of books and wondering why I can't sell any of them.
Well, I think we moved at least a few tonight. So I want to thank everybody that either scanned the code or I did put the link in the chat. So anybody that's going out there.
Well,
And
thank you.
if you see JG, don't forget, bring it with you because I'm sure he might consider maybe signing it for you if you have a chance to meet this lovely gentleman.
Yes, if you can read my QR code, which I'll have on my forehead, I will sign absolutely.
Does this move? No, I didn't think it did.
I don't even know what a QR code is.
It's one of those little. It's the little square with the black dots in it.
What does QR stand for?
You know what? I have absolutely no idea. If anybody out there knows actually what QR stands for, I have no idea what it stands for. So, but yeah, it's just a code that allows you, if you use the app on your phone, it's an easy way of getting to a website. Oh, okay. Pook is in Nashville. I love Nashville.
Wait a minute. You have a tunnel in Nashville with a tuba player?
Where's the tunnel? Oh, Roy, Roy, you're hired. QR stands for quick response. Quick response code.
That seems not quite technological enough, does it? Quick response.
That's why they call it QR, because that sounds a little fancier, I guess.
I
still want to know where the tunnel. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's been a minute since I've been down there. I've been to Nashville at least 10 times, and it's been a minute.
Tunnel? There's a tunnel in Nashville where people have
tuba players.
Tuba players.
I don't know. I think you should sit at Tootsie's and sell your book at Tootsie's. I think you might get a little more foot traffic.
I've never been anywhere in Nashville except the Grand Ole Opry.
You've never been downtown? Downtown Nashville's amazing.
I haven't. I went to the hotel, the Opry Hotel. There's a big thing with almost a Disneyland inside of it. It's amazing. I forget what that was though. It was a convention, but
Thompson in Under Railroad. All right, that's a part of Nashville. I'm not.
Thompson in Under
Thompson Lane becomes Briarley Parkway I know Briarley Parkway a little bit. Isn't that out towards the airport? I'm thinking like there's a lot of hotels along Briarley.
I usually set up my bookstore in a tunnel, like in the underneath the Hudson. I'm not again. There's something that's not right about it. I have trouble selling books on that little narrow sidewalk along the what tunnel? What's the name of the tunnel? On 47th Street or 36th Street, Lincoln Tunnel.
Oh, Lincoln.
Yeah, I've set my stuff up there, and again, I have a problem.
There's a couple great. I know like every entrance to the Lincoln Tunnel in New York that will take you back to Jersey, and there's a couple really good little sidewalks I could set you up at if you wanted to sell.
Those are the sidewalks with the prostitutes plying their trade. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you might have a little bit of company.
Yeah.
Linda,
perfect.
Linda wants to know if you're selling any signed copies. If you come to conventions, you're gonna have them, right?
Yeah, no, I will sign copies, but I do charge a little bit more for the signed copy. But I have hardback and I have paperbacks, and there will be a second edition coming out soon of the hardbacks. Anyway, I don't know when the time frame is for all this, but it's soon. And I was going to say earlier, and it's perfect timing because Patrick Stewart is just in the process of releasing his book.
He's on his tour.
He's already on a tour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. See, it's simultaneous. Like there's, that's
yeah. It seems like there's a lot of Star Trek people coming out with books
because of the pandemic. We all sat around, on our butts and then waited, and what we could do is write. Yeah.
Oh, Melissa is offering to get you out to Tucson, Arizona for the Festival of the Book in the spring.
Festival of the Book.
For those of you that don't know, I do bookings for JG. So Melissa, you and I should talk, and we'll get JG out there.
Talk
To me.
Where'd you say, Arizona?
It's I think it's she lives out in Tucson. Yeah, it's Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson. I'd love to see Tucson. I've never been to Tucson. I've only driven through it driving from LA to where was I going? The theater's in Tucson, isn't it? Isn't there a major theater in Tucson?
Melissa would be the perfect person to ask.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Patricia says Left Hand of Destiny are awesome books.
Yeah, that I'm about as proud of those two books as anything I've done in this business. That's what I'd like to, if I could talk. I've tried to get them to contemplate doing an audio book of Left Hand of Destiny.
That would be amazing.
Because I'd like to read it. I'd like to do it as Martok.
Okay, Puka misses the Trek cons at Opryland. I think those were creation events. I'm not sure. But creation used to take Trek on the road back in the day. So
yeah, no, I don't think they were creation, but maybe it was.
Nashville just had a Southern Festival. Listen, if you guys have book festivals, hit me up at the show. I'm not kidding. Hit me up at the show and JG and I can talk about it.
Absolutely. I didn't even think about that. Bookstores they've just started to make a little comeback. Bookstores. They were basically destroyed by technology.
Right.
But now they're starting to come back because people find you're exercising a different part of your brain when you're reading a book as opposed to reading a screen.
Right.
Or listening to it.
Okay, so Melissa says there's a Loft Theater and the Rialto are what's in Tucson.
The Loft Theater and the Rialto. What news? What show is this from? What news on the Rialto?
Stephanie says you can read as Martok at Trek Long Island. I
will. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a given. That's a panel right there. Yeah, I was right. I thought so. The Grand Ole Opry was creation. There were non-creation ones downtown. Okay. It's not off topic, Nancy, because this is my show. So basically everything is on topic. What was it like working with the eye patch on all the time?
Well, Nancy, it was not anything unusual for me because I have a legally blind left eye. And it's been that way since birth. And of course, I wanted to protect it through all these years. So naturally, I got into playing football and using broadswords and epées, people slashing at my face with metal. And so I went into, that was the business for me to protect my left eye. I had to be good. I had to be able to kill the other person so they would not be able to hurt my good eye. So is that clear?
So yeah, so basically covering your left eye was no big deal.
No, to answer your question, no, it was I didn't miss it.
Melissa says she never knew that. Yep. So yeah, it made it a little bit easier to because you're Linda
yeah, they wanted to cover my right eye. I mean, the first thing Ira said, we're going to bring you back and we're going to give you a sliced right eye because that's the wound you got from all the training they were doing upon you. And I said, no, we can't do that. I will knock over too many throwaways if we do that because I can't see them. I can't see out of my left eye, so you can't cover up my right eye. No.
Linda says the Book Corner in Niagara Falls is a unique bookstore. They just had
Niagara Falls.
Slowly I
turn. Step by step. Niagara Falls is doable. I mean,
I was going to say you don't live that far. I first learned the Susquehanna Hat Company, Abbott and Costello sketches. The first time I ever heard "Slowly I Turn," step by step.
All right.
No, it wasn't your idea though to have the patch though. That was Ira's, you said, right?
No, that's what Ira said. He said we could gouge out one of your eyes and we'll give you, let's say, your right eye. I said no. But yeah, he said that's when they told me that I was going to be a recurring character. It was originally, Martok was originally on there for 2 episodes, and that was it. And then Ira said, it struck us that, so Worf can have a friend.
Aww.
and yeah, so and they brought me back, and am I glad they did. 7 years later. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. It's allowed you to have some author credits and meet amazing people like,
absolutely. Vu.
Yes, exactly. And a couple others I'm sure out there. And of course your friendship with Boogly Eyes.
Jeff Morrow is the owner, if that helps.
That's the Niagara Falls bookstore that Linda was talking about. Like I said, I wasn't kidding, guys. You can totally hit me up, slide into my DMs on any of my socials.
Yeah.
And in fact, here, this is my email address. I'm gonna put it in the chat because I wasn't kidding.
Linda, who was the actor? Wasn't it Morrow? I thought it was Jeff Morrow that was killed in a helicopter accident. He was the he was at a World War II show, a TV show.
Maybe.
Vic.
Vic Morrow. Yeah. Vic Morrow. See, Roy, right there with the snappy answers. I'm a little mad at Roy, though. I was in State College this weekend, and he was actually had the nerve to be out of town, so I didn't get a chance to hang out with him. But next time I'm in State College, you owe me a coffee or something.
Roy, are you in State College? Are you in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, he's in State College. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I have Longs in my family. Doc Long was a doctor in Port Royal. There was Doc Long. Yeah, any doctors in your family? In your
Roy, get on Ancestry.com. Let's see if we just made a familial connection here. Yeah. Roy's response is no way. Roy, if you're related to him, that would just be so cool. Roy's favorite franchise, or Roy's favorite show in the franchise, is the same one that I love. It's that one that you were in where you played the lawyer. The one that's behind me right now.
What is it? Is it enter
something?
Laughing. Enter.
That's it. Enter laughing.
Enter laughing.
Yeah, we'll definitely. Okay, so
enter invisible.
So Vic Morrow was killed shooting Twilight. It looks like is what they're saying.
Oh.
They're saying in the chats. This is what I love about doing a live show and doing the chats. If I don't know the answer to something,
right, I
usually just throw it out to the chats, and somebody somewhere
absolutely
will come up with it. And I think that's
magic of radio. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just like I come from a radio background, so I like, and a DJ background. I love doing live. I love doing live because it's you and me talking, and basically everybody else just kind of joining the conversation.
You know, my least favorite DJ is DJ Trump.
Oh my God.
Donald John.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. Rory, before we go any further with that, Rory wants to meet up with you at Stop 35 for a coffee.
Stop 35 is so gone. It was, I literally got caught up. I got cut off back in 1970. I was at Bucknell. I went to Bucknell back in 1972 or 1. I was actually flagged from chocolate milkshakes at Stop 35. I had 3. I ordered a 4th one. They said, no, you're not making another one.
Roy was joking. He knows. You know the Red Rabbit Drive-In though on 322 outside of Dolphin?
35, yeah.
That thing's still there.
The Red Rabbit Drive-In? Ice cream.
Oh my God. I lived in State College I know you guys have no idea except for Roy what I'm talking about. I lived in State College for 10 years, drove back and forth between there and visiting my parents back in Jersey. never stopped once to have a burger. And then I drove up for one day for Davy Jones's memorial over in Beavertown, because they had a little memorial for his fans where he lived in Central PA. And
Beaver.
I think it was Beavertown. I'm not 100%. So I drove up there for Davy Jones's memorial, and I happened to have to pass. I had to take.
Who's Davy Jones?
From the Monkees. Davy Jones.
That Davy Jones is from that area?
He moved up there, yeah. He moved up there into a tiny little town. Used to ride his horse.
Oh, yeah. Beaver is my mother's, the distaff family name is Beaver in my family.
Oh, wow.
Governor Beaver and
there's a Beaver Hall at Penn State. I don't know if it's still there. Mary Beaver White Building. There was a building, Mary Beaver White Building on Penn State had one.
Well, the Beavers. It's funny talking now because people that don't know the fact that Beaver is anything but that.
Right.
But there's a mansion on stone mansion on Route 35.
Mm-hmm.
It was Governor Beaver's house because he was from Millerstown.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But the red thing isn't that in Mexico, Pennsylvania?
No, it's right on 322, just outside of Dauphin. You know the bridge? You know that bridge over the Susquehanna?
Oh, yeah, it is right there. Not Dauphin, but what's the name of that little island, the little peninsula? There's two rivers that come together there, right? The Susquehanna and the Juniata.
It's Clark's Ferry.
Oh, no, Clark's Ferry's up a little further, but what's the word? It's a name, not Dauphin. It's a different name. It's like 3 or 4 syllables. It's like an Indian name, I think. But
my roommate, the only reason I remember Dauphin is because my roommate was from right there.
Yeah.
Dauphin? Is it Dauphin, or am I thinking there's a D town like right there over that bridge? No, it's not
Duncannon.
Is it Duncannon?
Yes, Duncannon.
It is Duncannon. Okay,
yeah.
It's Duncannon. Thanks. Yeah, see, that one I got. Hey, guys, did you ever think you were going to get a geography lesson about Central Pennsylvania? It really is.
PA is a mysterious place, yeah.
It's a fantastic place. Boalsburg, which is the town right next to State College, is the exact geographical center of the state. My dad used to tell me that.
No, really?
Yeah, my dad went to Penn State. My dad's Penn State alumni, too, and he told me that once. Boalsburg is the exact geographic center. Stephanie has to go to bed. Ooh, we lost JG very unceremoniously. I wonder if his time was up. Oh, there he is. Okay, hold on. What did you do? Well, Stephanie, I see that you're leaving us. Your birthday's got another 33 minutes to it. So happy birthday. Enjoy the last 30 odd minutes of it. Pennsylvania, where we also have a Mexico, Peru, a Washington, and Indiana. These are all the clean names. These are all the nice, polite, funky names. Don't forget about Jersey Shore. You have one of those too. You've got Port Royal, where there's no port. JG, you're frozen. I hope you can unfreeze yourself. And then to get a little naughty. Exactly, Annika. They also have a intercourse. Blue balls and intercourse are actually not too far away from each other. Erie's up there. Erie is all the way up there. All right. Wait, let's see if he's back.
I should be. Yeah.
Yep, you are. Oh, forgot about Bird in Hand. We're just talking about fun names for Pennsylvania towns like Intercourse. And
Intercourse is a good one. Yeah. And
Roy started off polite. He started with Mexico, Peru, Washington, and Indiana. And I went, and then Annika went to Blue Balls. And I said, well, yeah, but let's not forget about Intercourse, which isn't too far away from Blue Balls.
I have never heard of Blue Balls, Pennsylvania. I don't doubt that it exists.
It's an Amish country, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
And my background, the Hertzlers are Amish.
Yeah, it's Lancaster-ish, west of west. It's like west of Lancaster, I believe.
The Amish came in at Philadelphia, basically,
yeah,
and then they spread slowly across Pennsylvania into Ohio and Indiana. But,
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful country. I got my dad unpasteurized apple cider because it's really hard to find, and if it's
Oh.
not pasteurized, that's when it hardens, and that's what he
Oh.
likes. He likes it with the little kick to it.
Oh, it does. The best I
Fresh.
that's different about it. It was unpasteurized.
Mhm.
When I was a kid, there was a like a rendering event out in the on a hilltop with a big, big pot, huge pot of black wrought iron, a black iron pot. They were cooking,
Mhm.
and they had apple cider, and it was the best I've ever had. That's why, because it was not
Pasteurized. And it used to be a lot easier to come by.
Yeah.
And now you have to look for it. And there's a place up in outside of State College called Way Fruit Farm. And I called them. This was like the third place I was looking. I called them and they said, "Yep, it's unpasteurized." I'm like, I'm on my way. And so I got my dad a big gallon of it.
Oh man!
And if you think you know hard cider because of the crap you drink in the bottles, the Angry Orchard, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy that, but it's nothing compared to real apple cider that
it's
hardens.
got a sting. It's got like a tart sting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is. It is absolutely fabulous. Also got fresh apples, just some fresh Honey Crisps, like right off the tree. That's what I love about Central Pennsylvania. It still has that wonderful fresh farm country atmosphere to it.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Southern Jersey. I'm home in South Jersey.
Well, I think this area, not all the way up in the northeast, not all the way up like above Maine, but down where we are, I think is perhaps the luckiest climate-wise place that we could be for the next 20 or 30 years, as the planet shifts.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, because we have the temperate zone has moved northward, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know which way it's gone, but the moderation area is where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Not go further south, and the heat increases immensely.
I still wouldn't mind being out in LA right now, but that's just me. But you're right.
Yeah,
it's getting milder here. It is. It's getting milder here.
Yeah.
It's weird. Jersey is weird. Like I wake up in the morning and I ask my Amazon device what the weather, what the temperature is, and in the very morning when I get up, it's 40-ish, and then it proceeds to tell me it's going into the 60s, and then tonight it's supposed to be down to 39.
Yeah, going to be low 30s here, and tomorrow it's going to be 65 or something like that. It's 11:32. I didn't realize it was this late.
I know.
I have to bid you adieu.
I was just figuring. I had a feeling that this wasn't going to go on much longer.
Well, I think if we ask Roy Long, the state allows us to sell it in small batches.
I think he was talking about the cider.
I think that's code for. I think it's time to stop this show.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so.
Well, Melissa's saying climate change she's a climate change, and we're considering the Northwest coast. So, yes. Roy, always thank you so much. Oh, snow here in a day or two. Yeah, see, I could do without snow in October. Roy, you are so welcome. I always love it when you pop in. Roy, Roy's nickname, I nicknamed Roy Enterprise. Because the first time I met him was at a Star Trek convention, and that's what he was wearing.
Oh.
So I called him Enterprise until I learned his real name, and then found out he was from State College, and then found out we had mutual friends. So I love Star Trek. This is what I love about Star Trek is just it's family. Like you said, Robert, there's nothing like it.
Good night to you too, Robert. He said good night, JG. Someday we'll meet at a con.
Oh yes,
someday.
We'll figure it out. And one more time, the QR code's up here. Give it a quick scan. Check it out. Go buy the book, please. Annika said she's waiting for the audio version. So hurry up and get that done.
Don't blame me. I am too. It's gonna happen soon.
Cosmic, thank you so much to everybody that's stopping by, especially all the new faces. I absolutely love it. Please consider becoming a patron of the show. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Please come back and join me. I'm hoping to have a guest next week as well. It's up in the air who it's going to be, so stay tuned. You can find me at NX7062 on the socials. Find me there, and you will find out about who's going to be on next week, JG, as always. And you are always welcome back.
Well, thank you. I see Hobert has pointed out that it's Neon Dion Sanders. How could I forget that? Neon Dion. Yeah.
Right. Roy's an audio engineer. He offered for you to come to State College and he'll do your book.
Oh, well, I might take you up on that. I mean, I'm fighting. I'm fighting with timing. Everybody's booked. I said, this is the business to be in, is audio engineering.
Yeah. Well, Roy, hit me up. We'll talk. Like I said, hit me up. We'll talk. All right, guys. Thank you. Please join me next week. And please be sure until then to live long and prosper.
Yes. Kapla.
This is Connor Turner. You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stefan.